Hello, welcome to the VIP room. We've not been in here before. Nice to see you guys. Okay, so we're talking today about organic explosion. I'll just give it another second or two in case anyone else wants to come in. And today we are talking about the growth of Facebook groups. I'm going to dive into some analytics with you. I'm going to give you 6 steps on how we were growing the group and the steps basically that we took to take this group from really dead. I mean, honestly, it was my own group and it was my fault. I hadn't really done much with it in a very, very long time. I was never particularly into group building or communities, but I knew it was something that I had to learn. So I started to put a plan together. I started to take some steps, and suddenly I noticed things starting to change. It was very gradual, but they were changing. And basically, as you see from the little image at the top, we went from approving about 65 people or so every 28 days, which, you know, I suppose that wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't good. And the last 28 days I took this screenshot was 2,450 people. And that was in the space of 3 months. And that 65 approved, I took that screenshot already when we had started doing this process. It was really a lot less before. It was probably around 2 per day, maybe, or something like that, 1 to 2 per day, that we would kind of approve, which, you know, is nothing to write home about. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you, I think we're going to go through the analytics so you can kind of see what we're dealing with, and then I will take you through these 6 steps of what we did in order to kind of like make this happen. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is all about Facebook growth. So right now we're inside the group. And this is the screen inside the group. Hopefully you guys can see this screen. Let me know if you can. And I will get to questions as well if anybody has any questions. Connie's in the seat right now, so I'll do a quick presentation and then I'll get to questions in a second. But basically, let me know if you can see the screen. Yes, okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Can it be bigger? It can be bigger. I'm just trying to figure out a way to do that without covering people up. Let me see if I can move it over here. Is that any better? Yeah, if you go into presentation mode, so if you go into the bottom of your screen, click on My View and go into presentation mode, it should flip and make it a lot bigger for you. Do you want to try that? Okay, perfect. Excellent. Everyone disappears, but they're at the bottom. So if you scroll down, you'll still see people. But we'll just go through the analytics first. Okay. Everyone's discovering new things. This is great. We'll go through the analytics first. So this right now is the Virtual Assistant Network group. I suspect that you're probably already a member, but if you're not, the group is here. I'll put it in the chat box. That's the actual growth group, which you probably won't have access to. Wait a second. I will put the link that's actually useful in there. Okay, hopefully that will work for you. Okay, so this is the group that we are talking about in question. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is that the steps that I'm going to be talking with you about with you today, I'm going to be doing it on another group. I'm going to start this month, and we're going to start testing this to see if it actually works on another group. I'm absolutely pretty confident it will. But the nice thing is, inside Virtual Co-working Space, I'm going to share the progress reports with you as they're happening and as we're growing the group. So basically, if this is a total nonsense, we'll know because the group won't grow. But I'm pretty confident it's going to work. So this is the last 28 days in the group, and I'm just going to show you some analytics to show you how this growth occurred, and then I'm going to share with you what actually happened to make it occur. So this is the last 28 days. So let's say I want to go through, and we're going to look at January now. Okay, so just for namesake, I'm going to write these like numbers down so we can kind of like repeat them in case anybody forgets them, just on this little segment here. But basically we started off, let's do February basically. Okay, so the whole of February there was 8,040 members at the time. We had 2,574 member requests in February. Okay, then let's do January. And again, this is just to give you an indication that literally these 6 steps were what's happened. We've done no paid advertising specifically directly to this group. So if you look at the January figures, we had 5,507 total members in the group throughout January. And in January, we had 657 member requests. Okay, so that's a fairly substantial difference, going from 2,574 member requests in February to 657 in January. Then, if we look at December, you'll see in December, which was just a few months ago, we had 4,916 people in the group in December and 154 member requests in December. So you can see we're at quite a different place back then than we are now. Then let's just again take a look at November. So in November, we had 4,689. This was kind of when I started the process. Sort of between November, December, I started this process of doing these six steps to grow the group. We had 122 member requests there that month in the whole of December. And then in October, I'll just take this back to September just to show you guys. Then October we had 4,551 total, 53 member requests. And then we'll just take it back to September. Again for the month, 488 people inside, 4,488 people inside the group and 57 member requests. So between September, October, it's around 50 something member requests, okay? So just to recap for you guys those numbers. September was 4,488 total members. That was when the group was dead. We'd been growing those members over many, many years. I don't think I can actually see on here when the group was actually started, but it was several years ago. Okay, So we were back in September at 4,488 members, and in February we were at 8,040 members. Okay, so it went the next month in October to 4,551, which is not that much different. And we had 53 member requests that month. So we were going from about 57 to 53 member requests a month. And believe me, the months before it was quite a bit worse. Then we went to 4,689 in November. Then we went in December to 4,916. And then we blew up around January, February at 5,507, and now we've got 8,040. Sorry, that was in January, and then 8,040 in February. So it has been growing considerably, and as you can see, there was just a moment, it was pretty much between December and January. In December, we went from 154 member requests that month to January, which was 657 member requests that month, to February, which was 2,574. So I was, as you imagine, I was pretty astonished at those figures. I thought they were quite interesting to see, because literally that's not, I never did advertising to the group. I never heavily promoted the group outside of Facebook either. You know, it's not like I was telling people to join my Facebook group constantly. I wasn't. So yeah, the figures between December and January are just astounding, because in December we had 154, which was 100 up from the previous, you know, like September, October. But then to jump from 154 then to 657, then to 2,574, it was obviously like we were cottoning on something. And then obviously, as the group grows, the engagement grows too. I mean, it's just a given. More people are posting, more people are talking. But when I started this, there was hardly any posts. I mean, basically we were putting our blog post in the group. There was pretty much no engagement. And although people were joining the group, it was literally a dead zone. I mean, like, we have a few like hardcore group members who would sort of like things, but we were getting very few, you know, very, very few engagement, not much comments, not much likes, you know, nothing was really happening until it started happening. And then now we get people posting regularly in the group, we get people engaging, people commenting, people liking. We set up the admin assistant message, which is the message that goes out and tags people. And I remember the first message went out, you know, it tags people every week. I think we had like 10 people in that. And now we're getting the last message we had that was auto tagging people. I can't even see it on here. This is a week's worth now. So yeah, this is 3 days ago, and this is the amount of people that joined in the last week inside the group. We used to do these manually and actually like welcome people manually, but there's just, it would be impossible to do that now. So that was, yeah, that was incredible. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. So you've got the numbers there, which, you know, I hope you kind of find helpful. Turn this off. Okay. Yeah, so it was pretty impressive. It was pretty cool. I wish I could say like I had some like really crazy strategy, but I'm gonna literally share with you now what I did. Okay, so I've got a little infographic-y thing here, which I will put with this video inside the replay, so you've got the 6 steps written out. Now, the first step was invite anyone and everyone that you can. I'd already done this, so this isn't really an actual step of something that I'd already done, but I'm going to tell you the first step. Try to get a little bit of momentum going. So if you've got a dead group or a new group, just start inviting anyone and everyone that you can. and just call that good. That's not a major part of the process because I didn't do it in this scenario, but obviously before in the group I had invited people. So that's it. Step 1, invite people all you can. Step 2, this is where it starts to be like critical. These are the things that I would say you have to do. Step 2 is to poll, and when you can tag at everyone, poll at everyone every day, or at least every other day. So like when I say at everyone, I'll screen share again just in case anybody who doesn't know what this is. Okay, so when you come in here and you do create post, okay, what you want to do is a poll. So you want to come in here and click on poll, and then you're going to do your poll, but every time you do a poll, you at everyone. See this? At everyone. That's what you want to do, okay? Do that as often as you can. There is a restriction to only allow you to do it every 24 hours, I think, because you can't do it constantly. So make sure at least every 24 hours you are using the at everyone. Doesn't matter how many people are inside the group, just keep using the at everyone, okay? So do it with a poll. Now the reason you do it with a poll is because a poll will get by far the most engagement on a dead group post, okay? So we were trying in the dead group like to do posts, to do ask questions, to do images, to do anything like that. By far the thing that got the most engagement from the very few people that were actually listening was a poll. Now this poll can be anything, and it really depends on the type of group you're posting out to. So obviously in this case for virtual assistants, we would poll about things relating to virtual assistants or working from home. It could be anything. You could ask people what they're doing today. You know, are you working from home? Are you working in a cafe? Are you working in a co-working space? You know, things like that. It could even be things like, what are you doing this weekend? I mean, it doesn't have to be strategically planned stuff. It could be normal everyday stuff. The most important thing is you're putting together a poll which would be applicable to most people. So even if you're just asking like, how do you stay fit at your desk? Do you join a gym? You know, yes, I'm in a gym. No, I'm not in a gym. I'm thinking about joining a gym. It could be anything like that. But the poll every day was critical. The second step, every day or every other day, but every day, I would say do it every day if you can. And don't forget, you've got to at everyone in that. Okay? So that's the second thing. Now the third thing is then, because it looks a bit weird just having poll, you know, like poll, poll after poll. The third thing you have to do, the most effective thing to get the group going again, is to post photos and stories that are personal, not promotional, not I've even not posts about the blog, you know, like I've put this blog post out, you know, 5 ways to do this, that and the other. I'm talking about personal. You won't have to keep doing this for the long term, but doing it in the short term is really helpful. And when I say personal, I'm talking about a picture of a screenshot of your desk. This is what I'm working on right now. Or it could be something like a laptop pro, like what laptop are you working from? Take a picture of your laptop. I mean, I'm talking personal stuff. It could be your kids. It could be you taking a selfie in the supermarket saying I'm taking a break in the supermarket. Like, it's so bizarre what works, but this, you know, this is what works. I put out such high value quality content and posts and high information and things like that in this group. I have, you know, somebody on my team, literally I was making content and posting it and nothing was happening, and then suddenly I was peppering in personal posts, pictures of me with the kids, pictures of me working, pictures of my office, pictures of me outside, pictures of me inside, pictures of my dog. You know, it was like, just take a picture and put it in, and, you know, put a caption in there, you know, like my dog's in my office right now, click. And suddenly I started to notice, and I added everyone in there, and I would maybe like put a question, you know, like I'm sat with my dog in my office, at everyone who's working with a pet in their office right now, or who's got a pet at their feet right now. Post a picture of your pet, asking people to post things. Olga says it's relatable. Absolutely, it's relatable. So ask people to post things that show that they're similar to you. Oh yeah, I've got my kid at home. This is my baby. You know, like, or you know, whatever it is. Who loves Mac? Who loves Apple? You find things in these personal posts that people just seem to want to respond to. They want to respond to you. So again, that's really super simple. And add feelings as well, you know, so like you put a photo in, always add a feeling. I'm feeling excited, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling scared, I'm about to do a client consultation, wish me luck, you know, that type of thing. That's the second type of post that you have to do, and you have to pepper those in between the polls. So I would say if you can do a poll a day and a picture a day, perfect. If you do a poll, a picture, a poll, a picture, a poll, also works really well. So that's basically what needs to happen. Now, step 4, and we talked about this, is always tag everyone. So this at everyone tag, you're only available once a day, but make it count, okay? So sometimes I'll post, and if I post twice a day, for example, I can't at everyone inside. And sometimes if I can't post that day, you know, for whatever reason, sometimes it might be the weekend or something like that, you know, and you can't do a proper formal poll or anything, just at everyone in the comments. And sometimes the at everyone doesn't work. Maybe the timing is slightly off and you post the post. Don't delete the post if you haven't added everyone in it. Wait for the time that you can at everyone and leave a comment saying, hey, at everyone, would love to know your thoughts on this poll. Hey, at everyone, and you know, like do a little question, you know, or whatever it is on the personal post, like who's working in the office with their kids today. So always try to take advantage of that at everyone every single day. Don't let it slip or slide. That is an integral part of this process. That's step 4. So step 1, invite everyone you can. Step 2, poll every day or every other day. Step 3, pepper in those personal posts in between the polls. Tell stories about yourself as well. You know, that's fine. Step 4, tag everyone in all the posts if you can. You know, obviously you're restricted, but make sure you get it in at least once a day. Step 5 is to comment and like posts and tag everyone where possible. But if you are like, oh, I can't comment and like my own post, oh yes you can. You can be your own cheerleader. So always, every single time you make a post and a poll, comment on it and like it. So like your own post if you have to. And you can also leave a comment. Even if you can't do the at everyone, don't just comment when you can use the at everyone tag. If you've used the at everyone tag, it's fine. But comment if you start seeing other people's posts in there, and also comment on your own posts, okay? Even if it's something like asking a question or adding a GIF, okay? And it's really ironic, but you see these people who kind of like post a post, and then they're posting themselves on their own posts, like GIF after GIF after GIF. I'm not saying you've got to spam the GIF thing, but even if you just make the post and then you come back to it the next day, when you go to do your next post, leave a comment on the previous post, even if it's just a GIF. Okay, so that is step 5, comment on all your posts. Yourself is fine. And then there's one more step. Step 6 is approve any members really promptly, okay? Nikki loves a good GIF. Who doesn't love a good GIF? Dale's been showing us how to use GIFs inside this virtual co-working space. He's been doing clapping GIFs and things like that. But if you click on your profile picture, you can actually send a GIF inside virtual co-working space. It's really cool. Anyway, that is it. And then there's, like I say, step 6 is you've got to approve all of the members. Those are the only things that we did to this group. and oh my god, like this happened. I will say during the festival we were running some ads to the festival page on my website, but we were not mentioning or running anything to the group. So I wanted to kind of throw that in there. I don't know whether that would have affected it, but the group is not related in any way to we were sending people to a page on my website. So that could have impacted it. But I will say the jump where we started to see the shift going between December and January, there was no ads then. There was no ads in January, and the ads only came at the very, very, very end of February, and the February stats were 8,040, between 5,507, or jumping between 657 to 2,574. Most of, like, maybe there was like a couple of days of ads in those, but really not very much. So I've backdated it. So all I can say is that's what we did. Those are the 6 steps. And what we're going to do is inside Virtual Co-working Space, starting next week, we are taking a group which is pretty much non-happening. I'll do a first session with you where we can start to see where the group is at, and then I will start applying these things to the group, and then every week we're going to check in, and hopefully within a few months we're going to start to see some results. So that should be an interesting thing to check in and watch. I'm going to start putting that that inside the schedule. We will probably do that in the Success Hub room inside the Virtual Co-working Space, and I'll put that in the schedule. I'll call it something like Facebook growth or group growth. Actually, I'll call it group growth because we are also going to be doing the same technique inside a LinkedIn group. I have a LinkedIn group. It's got like 58,000 members, and it's been growing quite organically for a very long time without us really doing very much. Let's say it can be anywhere between 100 and 150 members a day. This has exceeded that group, which was, you know, astonishing. But we're also taking a dead LinkedIn group and doing the same process. So I'll report to you guys every week about doing this process in the dead LinkedIn group and the dead Facebook group, and seeing what we can do and how this works to basically bring these areas to life. So we're coming to the end of this session now. Does anybody have any questions? Like I say, I have a little kind of graphic where I've just got these steps on that I'm going to put with the replay of this video inside the festival. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Connie, you're in the questions seat. I don't know whether you want to come and join on camera or mic, or if you want to, anybody wants to leave a message in the chat before we wrap up this session. I'll give it just a couple of minutes just in case. Next, I think we're on the Away VA next, but I am just going to double check that. It becomes all a blur. After you've done like 5 days of these things back to back, you're like, oh, what's next? Don't even know. Where are we at? Can't believe this is the final day, guys. I'm going to really miss this. Okay, yeah. So we're doing the Away VA panel room at 4 p.m. Great info, all good. Okay. Do you know, Nikki, I do need rest. I'm going to recoup over the weekend. We're starting back on the co-working space schedule on Sunday, so I'm going to have a couple of days of a recoup, and then I'll be back to it. But yeah, it's been intense, but I've just loved it. I've just loved every minute, even sitting up at midnight exporting all the replays. I've really loved every minute of it, and it's been fun. But my kids have really missed me. I'm like a passing ship in the night. You know, it's like, oh, who are you? Oh, that's Mum. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It has been really fantastic. The artificial intelligence talk with Megan is going to be in an hour and a half. Yeah, that's at 5 p.m. So in half an hour at 4 p.m. we're in the panel room for the Away VA, and then at 5 p.m. we're in the co-talk room for artificial intelligence with Megan and talking about product creation. It's kind of like a mixture of everything. You know, we're just going to see what comes out of that one. And then 6 p.m. we're on the festival stage. Okay, guys, thank you so much. As always, I can't stop thanking everyone because I really, truly mean it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining Virtual Co-working Space. I see some new people in here that weren't in there before, and I'm just super stoked. And I really hope, you know, like, you'll enjoy working in co-working space and joining us for these talks and these sessions in co-working space as much as you've enjoyed the festival. It's not as colourful in there, but it's certainly a place where we can still all get together and have, you know, the same vibe. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. See you in about half an hour inside the panel room. And don't forget, if you've got any questions about the Away VA, about working abroad, expats, that type of thing, would love, love, love to see you on that panel. Felicia, I'm excited you're part of it too. I've met so many lovely new people inside this festival that I didn't know before, and I'm just so thankful for all of you who have been around and who are continuing this journey as well with us. It's just fantastic. Super excited about New Journey. Me too. It's going to be epic. Okay, I'm going to go off camera. You guys can stay here or go somewhere else. It's up to you. Go a bit of a roaming around, and I'll see you very, very soon in half an hour in the panel room. Take care, guys.